Good morning, everybody. It's December the 26th, and I already did this once, but I had the volume turned down, so I'm going to have to do it again. But it's early morning. It's my favorite time to get up, drink coffee, study the Word, have a little devotional time, try to get my head right for the day. I hope you join along with me in my daily reading of Oswald Chambers, my utmost for his highest. Today is a good reading. Like I said, I've already done it once. I'm trying to get there. Almost to the end of the year. Here we are. This is entitled The Drawing of the Father. No one can come to me unless the Father who sent me draws him. John 6:44. And immediately we see there's two classes of people. Those that God draws to him and those who don't. Oh, but he draws everyone. No, he doesn't. Many are called, few are chosen. There are some that he chooses and pulls you out of the confusion, out of Babylon, and sets your feet upon the rock of the truth. Not many people experience that. There are people who are drawn in other ways, but the elect have a special purpose and a special relationship with God. You have to understand that first. When God begins to draw me to himself, the problem of my will comes in immediately. Will I react positively to the truth that God has revealed? Will I come to him to discuss or deliberate over spiritual matters when God calls is inappropriate and disrespectful to him? When God speaks, never discuss it with anyone, as if to decide what your response may be. See Galatians 1:15-16. It's like in the military. When I was in the military, you didn't question your officer. If he told you to dig a 6-foot hole to bury a cigarette butt in, you got your shovel and you went to digging. There was no discussion. Should it be any different with God? We are at war and we are in an army. We are supposed to be soldiers of the cross. Belief is not the result of an intellectual act, but the result of an act of my will whereby I deliberately commit myself. Belief is a choice. Getting mad is a choice. Getting angry is a choice. Being depressed is a choice. I realize there are individuals who are physiologically leaning toward these dysfunctions. I'm an addict. I was born with the genetic makeup that made me have compulsive actions when I was exposed to narcotics. By the grace of God, I can live above that. Some people are just born gay. By the grace of God, they can live above that. The grace of God is sufficient. Paul said he prayed for a thorn to be removed from his side. Who knows what that was? But 3 times he prayed. God wouldn't take it out because God told him, my grace is sufficient. So, God's grace is sufficient. But will I commit placing myself completely and absolutely on God and by willing to act solely on what he says? If I will find that I am grounded on reality as certain as God's throne, not the reality of the circumstances that you see around yourself. In preaching the gospel, always focus on the matter of the will. We preach the gospel in the way we live our life every day and the people we associate with. Belief must come from the will to believe. There must be a surrender of the will, not a surrender to a persuasive or powerful argument. I must deliberately step out, placing my faith in God and in His truth, and I must place no confidence in my own works, but only in God. Trusting in my own mental understanding becomes a hindrance to complete trust in God. A lot of the people I associate with these days online are so freaking brilliant that it would be easy for those people to get caught up in the trap of trusting in their own mental understanding. We have to focus on God and God alone. I must be willing to ignore and leave my feelings behind. Feelings aren't made to control you. Feelings are like indicator lights on the dash of a car. They're made to just alert you that something's going on and that you need to put your brain in gear and do some critical thinking and process the information and see why you're having these emotions. I must will to believe, but this can never be accomplished without my forceful, determined effort to separate myself from my old way of looking at things. I must surrender myself completely to God. Everyone has been created with the ability to reach out beyond his own grasp. But it is God who draws me, and my relationship to Him in the first place is an inner personal one, not an intellectual one. I come into relationship through the miracle of God and through my own will to believe. Then I begin to get an intelligent appreciation and understanding of the wonder of the transformation of my life. But that understanding is not the faith itself. It's not the belief itself. You will yourself to believe. But I say this. In the beginning, I came to believe the gospel as it was preached to me in a county jail. I came to believe that the Word of God was contained in the Bible, and I believed that God could direct me, heal me, educate me, and reform me by studying that Word. And so I did this. In time, after AIDS, prison came first, AIDS, drug addiction, many broken hearts, and the loss of my son, I can honestly tell you I no longer believe in God. I know God is real. There's no other explanation. I know the presence of God when He puts His Spirit upon me. I know what that feels like. I know the joy of living in relationship with God every day, because you know that every day is a gift. You should already been dead. I believed, now I know. It's my prayer for you today that you will come to know God, Yahweh, Yahweh, the Father of Yahshua HaMashiach. I pray you come to know Him the way I know Him. And that's about all for the day. I love you. Thank you for listening. And I'll see you again tomorrow.